is working now, so please welcome Dean Saunders. Dean, you need to unmute your mic, my friend. Come on, buddy. Right, Dean's mic. Your mic's muted, pal. Let's get him a little message. But Dean Saunders is here, and we have just been talking. I'll tell you what we'll do. This is one of them things that happens with these. Your mic is muted.
I think I should be on.
Hey, there he is.
Is that on?
That's on, mate. That's on. We've had a few technical difficulties. These things happen, Dean, but he's gone. We've lost you, pal. Your voice is gone, my friend.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There you are, mate. There you are. Right. So, Dean Saunders, thank you very much for joining us here on the Superstar Speakers live stream. How's lockdown treating you?
Golf courses back. That breaks the day up, doesn't it? I mean, when you get up in the morning, it's like Groundhog Day. I'm sure it's the same for everybody, but you know, we can't complain really without it. It's a disaster at the end of the day. We can't complain. We just have to abide by the rules, get on. I'm sure we'll come out the other side, but you know, they a little bit, so we can have a game of golf. But basically, I've been doing the garden and all them things. Yeah, so missing the football a bit, missing sport in general, and we never ever thought, did we, that we won't be able to watch live sport on TV? But it's happened.
It's bad, isn't it? It's really like I think people are struggling with it.
Yeah, well, you know, they put some of the old games on. They actually put a couple of games on. I was playing in them, and I never watched them before.
Wow.
And it's funny because I thought I played well until I watched it back. Some of them terrible. But I wish I was still playing, to be honest.
Yeah? Do you never still like lace up the boots and have a kick around?
Well, my 70% of my game, I'd probably say, was running.
Yeah. Being
mobile. And when you can't run anymore, you stop playing, don't you? I mean, that's my game gone. So I still like do a bit of coaching, and at the moment I'm doing a bit of coaching in around where I live, and I'm enjoying that really.
Yeah.
And actually still being able to put some ideas and try and help young players actually do the basics. You have to be able to do the basics.
Absolutely. Well, it's like
before we start, shall I give you some disciplines if you ever want to be a footballer?
Yes.
Number one, you've got to work harder than everybody else. Number two, you can't do what your mates do once you decide to be a pro. Number three, you have to practice. Number four, you have to be mentally strong. Number five, you have to have fire in your belly. And you have to want it. You have to want to win. You have to want to achieve. So before you even kick the ball, you've got to have all them things. Then you've got to have a bit of skill, a bit of talent. But if you haven't got them first five things, then you're going to struggle to be a professional. You've got to put everything else to one side. Football is the most important thing when you wake up in the morning. And get into training and wanting to win and wanting to fight and wanting to have a battle with whoever you're playing against and coming out the other side on top.
There's a great quote that
Rob, in the lockdown.
Yes.
I got that out of my system. It's been in there for about 2 months.
Well, I'm glad we were there to let you have it. But I think that advice is great for any walk of life. There's a great quote that I heard once before. It's like, if you really want to be successful, work hard, give in to the loneliness, and you'll come out on top. And it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? You have to make the sacrifices if you want to get to the top of the profession.
Yeah, and also you need a bit of luck.
Of course.
There's lots of really good players that had bad luck. You know,
yeah.
I was really lucky. I done my cruciate left knee when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Just at the time, you know, I played in the first team, Swansea. And because they didn't even have any knowledge of ACLs, it took near enough 18 months to work out what it was. Now they just get you straight away. They didn't even diagnose it. I kept twisting it, coming back, twisting it. But because I was injured at Swansea and the training ground was near on the way towards Neath, which was about 15, 20 minutes away, I was left at the stadium every day on my own. So I used to get a ball and I used to go around the back of the North Bank at Swansea at the Vetch Field. And behind the North Bank, there's two entrances where that's where the main crowd went. When you walk through the entrance, there's the gents' toilets. Mm-hmm. And above the top of the wall, there's glass and barbed wire. So people couldn't jump in for nothing. And it had gents written on the wall. And I used to kick the ball against that wall. And I used to try and hit the end of gents. I used to try and hit the end. And I'd stand like 20 yards from the ball. Well, I quickly realised if I hit the ball over the wall, which was about 20 foot, if I hit the ball over the wall, I had to run all the way around the ground, out the other side to get the ball back. And normally it was gone. Somebody nicked it. When the ball was coming back off the wall to me, I learned how to keep the ball down. Whatever I'd done, there was no way I was going to hit it over the wall. So I developed my technique of volleying the ball. You know, dropping my left shoulder, keeping my head still, hitting down on the ball. I developed that technique because I was left on my own at Swansea for 18 months. So I used to practice. So obviously when you strike a ball good, it comes back with interest off the wall. Yeah. So left foot, it comes back on your right foot. And I never thought about it, ever. After, you know, I got in the first team at Swansea. I went to Brighton, Oxford, Derby, Liverpool, and I was at Aston Villa. And we played Barnsley in the FA Cup. This is when it dawned on me that my technique was developed when I was 18, when I was injured. Because I never even thought. I flicked the ball on in the centre circle and Dwight York was clean through. So he's going through on the goalkeeper and I've turned round and I'm just running straight up the middle of the pitch, catching Dwight up.
Yeah.
And he's tried the ball, it's hit the goalkeeper's legs and it's come straight back to me. But it was bouncing and coming hard back to me. And I just hit through the ball. I was about 40 yards out. I threw the ball and it was like on the up, half volley on the up, and the balls cut the grass and then rose into the crossbar, hit the underneath the crossbar, come down and come out. But that strike, I didn't even think about it. That strike I learned coming off the wall at Swansea when I was 18.
That's great.
But I would have never practiced for 18 months on my own if I hadn't got injured. So there's a bit of luck.
No, absolutely right. But yeah, again, people always say that it's not luck. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So it's not necessarily luck, it's practice. And you're prepared for it.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of questions. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say, when a volley, you get a volley, you're on the edge of the box and a ball's coming back at you fast, bouncing.
Yeah.
I used to do it off the wall. So if I was lifting the ball a little bit, I was hitting maybe at the bottom of the ball. Then I started hitting the middle of the ball and dropping my left shoulder further than it was. And I actually worked it out, which was the way to keep the ball down. You know, because I had that many of them.
Yeah, of course.
So if you start practicing, your body tells you the right way to do it.
Anyway, and then that muscle memory, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've had a few questions come in for you. First off, from Jamie. Is it true Brian Clough tried to sign you?
I know Jamie. He did, yeah. But I'll be on it half an hour telling you what happened. I mean, it's a long story, but
yes,
when I left, I was at Derby. Myself and Mark Wright were put up for sale by Robert Maxwell. And it was all bids in. It was like an auction, all bids in by June the 5th. And Graham Souness rang me at Liverpool manager and said, like, you know, make sure you speak to me before it's time for anybody. I'll make the last bid. So I spoke to Howard Kendall. I spoke to Howard Wilkinson. I spoke to Alex Ferguson on the phone. I met the other two. And then I got a phone call. Brian Clough wants to speak to me. So I ended up going to Alan Hill's house. It was unbelievable. Me and my agent, Kevin looked like, looked a bit like Robbie Coltrane. So Cloughie kept calling him a fat bee all the way through and a back foot. And he was giving me bunches of flowers and all sorts in the house. And eventually I got out of the house. I was in there 4.5 hours. And I got out of the house, and the man's just a genius. I mean, I signed for Liverpool, but I would love to have played for him, you know, and Howard Kendall, to be fair. I would love to play for Howard Kendall as well, because Howard Kendall, the players loved the way he played football. He's another great manager. I think the two of them, Howard Kendall was a bit of a genius. Brian Clough was definitely a genius. And I wonder now how we would get on if he was managing now. How he would get on with the players, because there's stories about him. Have you had Mark Crosley on yet?
Not yet. It's something we're looking at. It's something that we're talking about, because he played under him quite a few times, didn't he? Obviously with the Forest keeper.
He told me a story about Brian. Stuart Pearce got in the England squad, and his debut it was. So normally when you get back from international duty, the games used to be on a Wednesday night, and then you played on Saturday. So the international players had to be in at 11 o'clock Thursday morning, no matter what. After the game, find your way to Nottingham, 11 o'clock. So Alan Hill said to Cloughie, Stuart Pearce can't get back till 4. And he went, who's he think he is? Who's he think he is, Pearce? We're going to have to change everything for him. So he went, yeah, we're going to have to change. Like, okay, then, 4 o'clock. So he walked into the dressing room. All the players were in. Pearcey sat there. And he walked in and he said, he had a Tesco bag in his hand with something heavy in it. And normally he had a ball and a towel. And he used to put the ball on the towel, pass the ball off the towel and say, keep the ball on the grass. Keep the ball. That's how we play, along the grass. And then he'd walk out. So he had this Tesco bag. He put the ball down and the towel. And he said, before we start, skipper, how do you think you played for England in midweek? He said, I'm all right. He went, I thought you were rubbish. And he went, and by the way, lads, I'm a fraud. He's a fraud. So everybody's thinking, what's he on about? They're all looking round. And he went, what do you mean I'm a fraud? He said, last week's programme, my programme, Nottingham Forest, my programme, page 11, paragraph 4, Stuart Pearce Electricals. There's an advert. He said, yeah. He said, tell me what that's about. He said, well, Gaffer, when I was playing non-league, we had a family electrical business. And I've kept it going. He went, so if my Barbara loses a light bulb in our bathroom and she rings that number, is Stuart Pearce going to come change the light bulb or somebody else? He went, well, it's my brother. He goes, well, you're a fraud. You're a fraud, son. So he walks over to him with a Tesco bag and he pulls out an iron. You know, an iron you iron your clothes with.
Yeah.
You're that good an electrician, repair Barbara's iron by Saturday or you're not playing. He did and put it on his desk.
Brilliant.
if you get Mark Crosley on, he was involved in most of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got Stuart Pearce on Halloween, so I might ask him himself.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have some great stories. As I said, I wish I'd signed for him. I ended up signing for Liverpool, and what a club!
Yeah,
like, big club. I mean, I'm proud to say I've played for him. Fantastic, brilliant.
What do you think to Liverpool and the Premier League this year? Like, what do you think should happen with them? Because they're like touching distance away from getting the league for the first time in 30 years. What do you think?
Well, deserve it, but I think they've got to finish the season out somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, but there's problems we don't even know about. Like players' contracts come out of the blue, didn't it? We didn't realise that players are out of contract; they're not going to play. Then you've got players who are going to say, "Well, hang on a minute, I'm not playing. I'm not going to play if I got a chance of catching up." So there's money problems. There's all sorts behind the scenes, but I've got a slightly biased view because I played for Bradford City, under Paul in the Premier League, and we looked dead and we won the last 3 games of the season. We ended up staying up.
Yeah.
So 9 points. I think we won the last 3. I think we did. We beat Wimbledon, Sunderland, and Liverpool in the last game. No one gave us any hope. So the teams who are down the bottom, it's not fair to say that they're relegated now.
No,
because
not at all.
They'll have an argument because say we win the last 3 games, we get 9 points. So
it's a lot of money staying up as well, isn't it? There's a lot of money in not getting relegated.
Well, I read somewhere it's worth like 250 million to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
To stay. So with the parachute payments and everything. So I think the only way to do it is to try and finish the season, and just cram all the games. But Liverpool have definitely, they've built a team up. Clough has built the team. It's got better. Now they believe they can beat them. They turn up games. They don't even play well in games and win. The front 3 are unstoppable. Yeah. They're that quick and sharp. And then Van Dijk's come in, and he's made a difference. I mean, obviously Jurgen Klopp's looked at it a couple of years ago and gone, 2 goalkeepers aren't good enough. Karius and Mignolet. Lost Matip. We can't win the league with them 2. No. We need better. So he went and he sold Coutinho. He bought Van Dijk. Alisson. He bought Shaqiri and Keita.
Yes.
Keita, I thought was going to be the best signing out of all of them. He's yet to show his class. But I think Keita, if he just stays where he is and learns, I think Keita will come to the front as well, be a star player. But
I thought the same with Shaqiri, to be honest with you. I think Shaqiri is class, and he's not getting regular football there. It's incredible.
No, that's the problem you had, because they had Daniel Sturridge there as well. And
yeah.
I mean, not last season, before pre-season. I remember watching him playing against Blackburn. Keita's first season, pre-season. Keita kept putting Sturridge in, look razor sharp. The Daniel Sturridge is an example. If he's playing every week and he's training, flat out, he's as good a talent as most strikers in the league. He's obviously, talking 18 months ago. And I was thinking he might play his part this year, but the minute Daniel Sturridge don't play for 3 or 4 weeks, he loses his edge. And it's like Shaqiri. The players he's putting in, they're not getting regular football. That's why I was a bit surprised they didn't play against Shrewsbury, all of them.
Yeah.
They play them, because I think the only way Liverpool don't win the European Cup is injuries, and the players they put in. But the front 3, if Shaqiri's sharp and fit and had games under his belt, he's a world beater at times.
Yeah.
He can game of football. But they're just a good team, and the goalkeeper he doesn't make many mistakes. They all make mistakes, but that's how I judge goalkeepers. They don't make many mistakes.
That's how you win games of football, isn't it? Really, like don't let goals in. That's very basic level of putting it, but
yeah, well, obviously, if you've got to score 2 every game to win, it's going to be harder.
Absolutely.
So number one, any team you manage or any team that you play for, it was always emphasised, we never get outworked by anybody. No one ever outworks us. Mm-hmm. No one's got more than us. No one, if it's a scrap, we'll win that. If it's a football match, we'll win that. If it's box to box, end to end, we're fitter than you. And them are the basics you got to have in the bag before you've even passed the ball to each other. You've got to have that. It'll be hard to play against, yeah. So I think they're both.
On the subject of managers, we were talking about this just before we went on, and I want to ask you about Ron Atkinson because I'm from Kettering Town. He was the Kettering Town manager many years ago, and we've got quite a few Ketteringers who watch this. So can you tell us anything about Big Ron? Because obviously you played under him at Villa.
Oh, I could sit here all night and tell you about Ron. Actually, he's a mate of mine now, and he's a great manager. And Graham Souness, for example, I've been with Graham quite a long time. He signed me at Benfica, Galatasaray, and Liverpool, and I went to Newcastle and Blackburn as coach. And he's just an honest winner. Yeah, he tells it straight, like he is on the TV. He's really good at that. He's the top pundit, and that's how he speaks to the players. Simple, straight, give your all, and he'll back you. Ron Atkinson wanted to be one of the players. Ron wanted to be playing. He actually used to play every day in training, right wing. He had a sunbed in his office, a Bentley, full of jewellery. And he was hilarious, and we didn't even know it. And he could fall with everybody, and then be friends with everybody within 10 minutes. Everybody laughed at him like every day. But like some genius things he done. I mean, sorry to mention it, but if there's any Man United fans watching, in the cup final in 1993 at Wembley, the League Cup final, they had the best team ever. I think, say the best team ever. Like, what a team! It was Paul Parker, Dennis Irwin, Bruce Pallister. Schmeichel didn't play. It was Les Seeley in goal. Roy Keane, Paul Ince, Giggs, Cantona, Hughes, Kanchelskis. What a team. And he had to come, we could beat them. And we played 4-5-1. We never played it, ever. I played up the middle on my own. I only touched the ball twice, scored 2. I didn't enjoy the game. I was just running round, not getting a kick. Daly and Atkinson played on the right, where Salah plays. Yeah. Tony Daly played on the left, where Mane plays. And then Graham Fenton made his debut. He hadn't played before. He just put him in and said, man to man, Paul Ince. Our team was Thornton, Barrett, Sean Teal, Paul McGrath, Andy Townsend, Kevin Richardson, Graham Fenton, Daly, Tony Daly, and me. Bosnich in goal. And we won. And he never played that system before. Tactically, he never got credit for it. But I can tell you now, he's the reason we won that game. We won 3-1, but it was down to Ron. But apart from that, he played right every day, and he was hilarious, ruthless as well. Yeah. And didn't care who he had to go at. His personality was bigger than everybody's. He was bigger than Paul McGrath, who's the best player I've ever played with, best defender anyway. Mm-hmm. Bigger than he could handle all the big name players. And I'm thinking now. I wrote down 18 stories about Ron, funny stories. Blimey. But one of the best one of the best. This is I'll tell you what the sort of atmosphere we had. We played Oldham away. Oldham were in the Premier League. Hard place to go. Boundary Park. Is it Boundary Park? Oldham? I think it is. Anyway, it was Oldham's ground. If I've got it wrong, sorry. So we get there, and it's freezing, right? But Mark Bosnich has turned up in an Aston Villa tracksuit, but he's got Timberland boots on, brand new. You know, like Arab coloured Timberland boots, but size 13. His feet were massive. So he's got a tracksuit on. We've all got tracksuits and trainers on, club issue, and he's got a pair of Timberland boots on. So, because we call Bozzy the Freak. We call him the Freak because he was a bit different to everyone else. But anyway, we walk in the dressing room and we go out for the warm-up. So why I done it, I don't know, but it got me so much. I put my boots are size 7s. I've got small feet. So I could get my boots inside his Timberland boots. Now Bozzy's gone out on warming up. And I've run out for the warm-up with Bozzy's Timberland boots on. Like there's a joke. So I've run up to Paul Barron. I said, yeah, lay me one, lay me a ball. And I had a shot in the mud with Bozzy's brand new boots. And he's gone like, what are you doing my boots? Like, disgrace. Like, anyway, Jim Barron must have told Ron I was messing about in the warm-up. So it's 0-0 time. I missed a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It's side netting. Right on half time. So we've come in at half time. And Ron's gone, right, some of us, he's making a cup of tea. You know, them big urns. He's making himself a cup of tea, putting the milk and the sugar in. Everybody's sitting there quiet and he's stirring his cup. And he went, some of us are not at the races today. Not at the races. Some of us. And I just looked up and I got eye contact with him. He goes, you're one of them. I went, what do you mean? He goes, what do I mean? What do I mean? What do I mean? He'd had it in his head anyway because I wore them boots in the warm-up. And he went to throw his cup into the floor and he threw it straight in my face. Boiling hot tea. Oh, he didn't mean it. He's gone to throw it in the floor, but all the tea's hit me in the face.
Jeez.
So I've got up. As you know, it's fighting talk, isn't it? Someone throws a cup of tea in your face. So I got up. What are you doing? But the backs of my knees were on the, you know, you sit on the benches in the dressing room. I couldn't move. So he's pushed me back into the wood, and he's got me by the throat, and his head is purple, and his face looks like it's going to explode. He's that angry, right? So assistant manager Jim and breaks it up, pulls him off, and he goes, I've got this old tea, boiling hot tea in my face. I've gone, that's a disgrace. And Jim Barron's gone, Dean, he didn't mean it. Thought it was Lucozade. Right? So, as if that. So I'm now like, I'm like this. I can't believe it because I was one of his teacher's pets. Paul McGrath was a favorite, but I was in the top 4. So I was sitting like this, shaking my head, and he goes, and he's now feeling guilty. He's feeling guilty now, walking up now, and he's going, well, some of us can sulk. Some of us can get out there and prove me wrong. It's up to you. If you want to sulk, you can sulk. But if you want to get out there and show me I'm wrong. So I've gone, yeah. I've gone, yeah. So anyway, get out you go. So we go out on the pitch. I'm not exaggerating. The ball went back to Earl Barrett, out to Ray Houghton. He's bent it round their back foot. I've run in, diving header, scored.
Brilliant.
Right. A couple of minutes after we've kicked off, Ron runs on the pitch. He's on the pitch pointing at me, giving a thumbs up. I've just blanked him, shot head at him. Dalian scored a great goal for us to win the game. So the next day is the Ryder Cup at the Belfast. You know when they had the salmon jumpers on?
Yes.
That was the next. We had it. So Ron was going with his wife Maggie. I was going with Steve Staunton, and we were going in the Lucas Electrical tent. We were invited to go in that. So we were in the Lucas Electrical tent, but before we got there, on the bus, because we'd won 2-0, Ron gets on the bus and he's going, Dino, Dino, did I ever tell you you're my hero? Don't blank me tomorrow, pal. Don't blank me at the Ryder Cup, will you? Come on. You know I didn't mean it. I love you. I was going, no, I'm not having it. Chucking boil not tea in my face, gaffer. I bang out of order. No, come on. Please don't blank me tomorrow at the Ryder Cup. You know I love you. You know I love you. Anyway, next day, we get to the Ryder Cup, thinking nothing. At the Belfry, I've walked out with Steve Staunton up to the putting green. On the putting green is Corey Pavin, American golfer. He's caddy with him, got a bit of string out, and he's putting down this bit of string. And who appears behind him over the other side of the putting green? Ron Atkinson, cowboy hat on, green trousers, and a flower. Right? And he sees me and Steve over the putting green, and he went, Dino, Dino. And Corey Pavin stopped putting, and his caddy stopped putting, turned round as if to say, who's this? Shouting. And Ron went, Corey, I don't care what you're going to do out there today, pal. You should have seen the goal he scored yesterday. Dino. And then his wife, he come round to see us, and his wife come over, and she said, "Did my wife told Maggie that he threw a cup of tea in my face?" And she's punching him. Did you throw a cup of tea in one of the players? He goes, "I never meant it. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. He meant to throw it into the floor, but it went over." But that used to happen every week. We used to have things like that every week.
That's brilliant.
We had some characters. By the way, we had a really good team. That team. You know, and you know what? We laugh and joking, and on a serious note, you know, we've lost Alien Atkinson, who was a great player, like unstoppable. He was my partner, and we lost him young in his 40s. We lost Hugo Ekiog,
yes,
who's, you know, another great defender. You know, young. J. Lloyd Samuel, I never got to play with J. Lloyd, but you know he passed away as well. And then Gary Ablett, who I played with at Liverpool, is gone. Gary Speed, who you know we talked about before the show started. So we're all lucky to be here. So no matter how you feel, you know, and how fed up you're right now, and everybody's fed up. You know, I often. They come into my head. Every time I tell a story about Aston Villa, Dalian and Hugo come into my head. So sad to lose them. And Doug Ellis has passed away. So, you know, I used to drown Doug Ellis. He used to come in. We used to have a jacuzzi in the showers.
Okay.
Ron put a jacuzzi in the showers. The complete opposite to an ice bath. We used to have to sit in a jacuzzi after the game for 20 minutes. Ellis used to walk in every game. And I used to hear him coming, and I used to pretend I was washing my hair. And I used to push the water, and I used to drown him every game. He had Aston Villa jacket on, and he fell. Until one day, he said to me, "Would you come up to the director's room after the game, Dean? The Sheffield Wednesday chairman really likes you, and he wants to meet you." So I went up, and when I got there, he said to the chairman of Sheffield Wednesday, "I'd like to introduce you. This is Dean Saunders. He thinks he drowns me every week, but I let him throw the water over me to make him feel good." So he knew all along. Yeah, so
that's brilliant.
I'm brilliant for us. Yeah, no matter what you say about Doug Ellis, you know, he supported the club. He loved the club. And he'd do anything for the club.
I think you need that with I think a good chairman should love the club, shouldn't I? I think that's a big part and parcel of the success. I think like Jack Walker back at Blackburn, for example, loved the club. Chap at Wigan, whose name escapes me, loved the club. And it's a big part. John Hall at Newcastle used to be the same. That love of the club helps bring the community into the football. Would you agree with that? Have I got you there?
When I played, normally the chairman was men in town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he made good, loved the club, order, and become rich, and like obviously, you know, they get a bit of like ego from it as well, but and also they love the club. You know, like I'm the chairman of Aston Villa. Like it's
The
a really important man to me, Aston Villa. And now, looking at it now, you know, you got these owners coming in. What are their motives for being the chairman? Some of them are doing it to buy the club and sell it on. They don't support the club. Some of them, believe it or not, they play Football Manager on the PlayStation at home with the kids. They've got that much money into the kids. By the way, why don't we get a proper club? They're playing on the PlayStation. Let's get a football team. When they get there, they realise there's somebody picking a team.
Yes.
Somebody's picking a team. Someone's buying the players. Well, that's it. Football Manager on PlayStation. That's the best bit, picking it and buying players. So when they realise this man, that's the manager, is in their way, they think they can do it better. They think, I can do that better than him. You lose a few games. So that's a toy. So you've got some doing it to sell the club on, some using it as a toy. And then some of them, for some reason, I don't know whether they're enhancing their other businesses by being connected to the football club, or they just got that much money, they just throw it at the club and just, you know, make me an offer for a football club, and they offer that much money that people can't say no. But it is a shame, and it's become a business, hasn't it? Football's a business.
Yeah, it has.
It's run by all agents, believe it or not. Football now.
I could believe that. Celebrity appearances UK ask us a question, Dean. Absolute class stories, Dean. We have heard a story about you drinking something strange in Galatasaray. What was it? Did you get that? The connection's a bit loose.
My sound still works.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, we get a bit patchy, but we're getting the bulk of it.
Yeah, well,
there he is.
I signed a new contract at Villa, and Ron left. I was gutted when Ron left. Brian Little took over, who's a nice man. Brian Little, and they, you know, I had clauses in my contract that if a foreign club, I always wanted to go playing abroad. I thought, you know, I could improve if I went and played abroad at some point. And I had clauses in my contract. I think it was like 1.5 million, 2 million, 2.5 million over 3 years, which, like, if somebody offers that figure, then they could talk to me. So Graham Souness actually persuaded me over and have a look round in Turkey and get in Istanbul. And I went with 8 months pregnant at the time with my boy Callum, who's 24, by the way.
Wow.
It was 24 years ago. Yeah. So when I got there, I got off the plane and I was with Kevin, my agent, and I got picked up. Someone picked me up. 2 fellas picked me up, Galatasaray fans, carried me through the airport, no passport control, took my bags, gone. You know the baggage reclaim?
Yes.
That was full in Istanbul. It's full of Galatasaray fans. Yellow and red everywhere. They took me through, carried me through, put me in a car, took me to the Polat Renaissance Hotel, which was owned by the president, Adnan Polat. And he said, look, we've got a training session tonight. Only went over for a look, by the way. You know, I looked round. So we've got a training session tonight. If you join in, you can join in. So Graham went to me, just join in. You know, I said, where is it? He goes, it's in the stadium. I said, all right, I'll join. Okay. So I get on the bus, and the bus goes under the ground at the stadium, Ali Sami Yen Stadium. It's underground. There's changing rooms.
Okay.
So the bus went under the ground. I would meet all the other players. I hadn't signed, and I'm in the dressing room thinking, there's a lot of players in here, like for the training session. Anyway, walked under the stadium, up them steps that you have, like that come straight up behind the goal. And as I was getting nearer to the steps, I could hear this like droney roar. Like I'm thinking, is that a crowd I can hear? I got to the top of the steps. There's 40,000 people there in the stadium come to watch me training.
Oh,
I didn't know. They've all no. So I've got a Galatasaray kit on. I'm still playing for Aston Villa. I'm signed. I've got this because they're all telling me, "Don't worry, it'll be all right. Just have a run around, training session." So what happens? A player gets a flag, the massive flag, and he runs to all. They sing, do, and you run over, and then they all go, away, like Clough does with the cop.
Yes,
a bit like that, but you do to all four sides. Anyway, they come round and give me the flag. And Adnan Polat was stood there. He looks a bit like Khan, the cricketer, Imran Khan. He looks
yeah.
6'4", immaculate, overcoat over his shoulders, Hugo Boss suit on, coat over his shoulders, big cigar, and he's standing on the players' entrance at the top of them steps. And they give me the flag, and I have to. I better do it. So I've run round, thinking all the way around and thinking I'm not even signed. This is like ridiculous. 40,000 people there. I got back. Adnan Poland went. I passed the flag on to the next player, and Adnan Poland went, Dean, I think you'd better sign, or there could be a problem. So I went back, and my wife come home. They showed us some properties. My wife come home, and then Graham talked me into signing. And I must say, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The people in Istanbul, fantastic. The fans, like unbelievable. We've got 5 million. They had 5 million supporters all around the world. I played the cup final against Fenerbahce. If you remember, Graham Souness.
Yes.
Flag. That was a great day. Managed to score some goals. I think I got 24 goals in 32 games. So I was all right. Brad Friedel was in goals. Great season. And Daley and Atkinson played for Fenerbahce. So he was my strike partner the season before. Playing for Fenerbahce. And he had a great season. And he scored a hat-trick against us. Actually, I've never told this, but
go on then.
We were kicking off in Fenerbahce Stadium in the league game. And me and Dalian stood talking to each other before the kickoff. Laughing because we were teammates. And he said, guess what? The owner has told me I can have a 500 SL Mercedes if I score 2 today. A Mercedes Sports, 80 grand car. He scored 3 in the first 20 minutes. And he kept running back to the halfway line, shouting, Dino, I've got the car. He's going to listen to me. He scored a hat-trick. And everyone allowed. I know, I couldn't believe it.
That's great.
They won the league. Fenerbahce, and Dalian was the top scorer. I think he got 18 goals. And we won the cup. But I enjoyed it. I'm really glad I went. Everyone was nice to me. As I say, Callum was born out there, so I don't know whether he's Turkish, Welsh, or what. He played for Wales under 21s, so I think he's Welsh now. But
Welsh, yeah.
Yeah,
great.
The 2 girls went to school. Louisa, they went to school in Istanbul, in the foreign school, which is in Europe. And they went to the English school in Lisbon as well, in Portugal, when I went to Benfica. So bit daunting going into that, but hopefully it's helped them with their outlook on life.
Of course, yeah. Different cultures and different experiences, yeah. Plus, British schools are ruthless. Like schools in Britain are brutal. So, Dean, I think what the question that they were going about was about the goat. Would you care to explain the story about the goat when you're in Turkey?
was like Boris Johnson there. Did you notice? I was like Boris Johnson. He asked me a question and I
avoided it.
And I answered with a different.
I think you're more likable than Boris Johnson.
Our first game, pre-season, which is your dried apricots you get for breakfast.
Yes.
Most of them come from Malatya in Turkey. It's what it's famous for, apricots. Okay. And we landed. It's like hours on the plane from Istanbul. Like it's that big a country, Istanbul. You don't realize.
Yeah.
Like it takes you hours to fly from one end to the other. And we landed on the runway, lined by soldiers. So as we landed, all soldiers lined the runway, and it was like when George Bush meets Gorbachev, and they put the flowers, wreaths around their neck, and meet nice. It was a bit like that. Adnan Polak got off the plane first. The president, FA, he gets off, and we got on this bus. There's red and yellow flags. It's like a carnival. Red and yellow flags. Galatasaray are in town. Massive occasion for the town.
That's cool.
We get to the hotel. As we're about to pull up to the hotel, I said to Barry Venison, look at that there. There's a man walking on the side of the road, and he's like like you walk a dog. He's got a goat with a lead on it, but it's one of them big ginger goats. Them goats that's got the ginger fur. It's one of them. So he's walking it like a dog up the street. So look at that. There's a bloke walking a dog there. All of a sudden, double-decker bus we're on. The bus stops. The man walks into the middle of the road, holds the bus up, pulls a knife out of his top pocket, about that long, pulls the goat's head back, puts the goat between his legs, pulls the goat's head back, slits its throat. Imagine, me, Barry Venison and Brad Friedel, we couldn't believe what we were seeing in the road. But it's for good luck. It's in the Bible, and it's like for good luck, where you sacrifice. Without telling the story, someone sacrificed their son. So when he showed the loyalty, then we'll use the goat. So it's for luck. So I was, if I imagine, we were sitting there thinking, where are we here? What is this? So played the game. Every game there's a national anthem. So this is my first game. So we run out, we line up for the national anthem. Brad's on the end. A man walks up now with a lead with a white goat. Stops in front of us. Same thing again. Slits its throat. Pulls the cup out of his top pocket. Puts the cup. Right, you're going to have to have a sip of the blood for good luck. I said, Brad, Brad went, I'm not drinking that. I'm not drinking that. So in the end, we had to have a sip, and the cup was warm. With the blood.
Wow.
It was warm. Stays with me now to this day. And passed it down the line. And then we broke off, and Brad ran into his goal, and I ran to Brad. I went, Brad, I'm going home tomorrow. I am going home. He went, and me. Let's go. But I didn't know, because at the time we didn't realize what it was all about. But now, we all know. But I was imagine drinking blood before kickoff. Different, it's just different. But I can't say enough how nice the people were and open to family.
That's great.
I still
touch
with the results.
Yeah, massive club, Galatasaray, isn't one of the big clubs in Europe for sure. Benji Smith's got a question. What are your thoughts on Robbie Savage? Because we've been teasing Robbie on the show a little bit, so we'd love your thoughts on Robbie Savage, please. Oh, hello.
Rob.
That was just them, wasn't it?
What was he saying?
Well, just your thoughts on Robbie Savage. That really has gone a bit crackly, hasn't it? Let me try something.
Number one, Robbie Savage. As a man, deep down, heart of gold. Really nice lad. Deep down.
Yeah.
Went to Man United, right? Played with all them great players, Giggs and all that in that youth team. Crew. All football at Crew again.
Yeah.
Ended up going to Martin Leicester, who shaped his career. Martin O'Neill has just grabbed hold of him one day and said, listen, you can't pass the ball. You give it away every time you get it. So all I want you to do, run round, get the ball back and give it to Neil Lennon. Give it to Neil Lennon, give it to Guppy. Just get the ball back for us and just be a nuisance and just get around the pitch. He listened to Martin O'Neill, and Martin O'Neill guided him to a career as one of them players that nobody liked to play against. And none of the crowd liked him at every stage. But he's a complete opposite off the pitch.
Yeah.
Lovely lad, nice. Really works his socks off. You know, I work with him on BT Sport on the Saturday, and he works his socks off to try and make the best of himself. In anything he does, he tries his best to make the best of himself. And he's a friend of mine as well, so good. I class him as a friend of mine, and we get on well. And he was underrated, actually. He had really good feet. Martin O'Neill made him into a bit of a Kante-like type player, you know, like that defensive sort of breaking things up, but more in his locker than that, and he could strike a football. He could shoot, he could ping the ball. But he made a career for himself. He's an example of, and he'll be the first to admit it, he wasn't like brilliantly blessed with talent, but all them things I mentioned at the start of the show, determination, guts, sacrificing his life for football, make a career, you know, and wanting to win and making himself better every day. Because part of being a pro as well is you're battling with yourself. How good can I get? So you always have that battle. I'm better than him. I can get better than him. I can score more goals than him. You know, what have I got to do to get more goals than him? It's the drive. He had that in abundance.
Great. Another question's coming.
He's on everything.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah, he's good.
He can dance. Yeah.
Questions come in from the holiday home. It says, it's been said, and it's Clayton Blackmore that told us this, that if Ryan Giggs would have continued his international career, had you been the boss, did you have a good relationship with Giggsy? That's gone again, hasn't it? It's every time I put that up. And we've got you again. Yeah, I do apologise to everybody listening to this. We lost you again there. So every time we bring one of these up. Have you got me now, Dean? Yeah. The question was, Clayton Blackmore told us that Ryan Giggs would have continued his international career if you'd have remained as the boss, the assistant manager of Wales. Have you got a good relationship with Ryan?
Yes, yeah. He's a great player. I mean, you ask me players I've played with. People always ask me, who's the best player you've ever played with? And it's really difficult because people have got different skills. Paul McGrath, not Ian Rush. Both of them, genius. Mark Hughes, not Ian Rush. Mark Hughes is a target man, like a warrior, like strong as an ox, scored goals, could do everything. Rushy, 10-yard start. From 10 yards with standing start, he was like electric off the mark. Yeah. Ryan Giggs was quicker with the ball than without the ball. And if you made the right run, he could put you in. He'd see you. He could hit the pass. He goes past people for fun. And he done it for 17 years. Every season. Like,
top level.
Had his injuries. Again, a nice lad. When I've got, no axe to grind with Ryan. I always got on great with him. I always to be a lad, not big-headed anyway. He could have been with the form he was on. And I always get asked the question, who's the best, Bale or Giggs? And I always said, well, Gareth's going to have to do it for a bit longer because Ryan's done it for 17 years.
It's about right.
Gareth Bale's won it 4 times, hasn't he, already, I think. So, both left wingers, and that is a really difficult call. Who's the best out of them two? I coached Gareth Bale. I was on the training ground watching him. Didn't have to say much.
I'll bet.
It was like a Rolls Royce. It's like a Rolls Royce. Giggsy was just, Giggsy was just like he could run far. He could run his foot flat out without making a stride. And the ball never used to go far from his foot. When he was nudging it, if I got clear, I used to kick the ball out my feet and run after it.
Yeah.
He could nudge it. So defenders could never stick their leg in. They're always, the ball never far enough from his foot. He had control when he was running and scored goals as well. But yeah, he's a great player. He's up there. If you're going to ask me for genius levels, John Barnes. John Barnes is a genius.
Yeah. That goal he scored for England against Brazil. What a player!
Every day in training, I just think, how did he do that? How did he get out of that situation? He just knew where players were. The more men that were around him, the better it was.
Yeah.
He just knew where to move the ball. Just natural footballer.
And strong as a bull as well. Like he's a big lad in his day, weren't he? Like you couldn't muscle a ball off him.
He is now.
Here he is now.
Sweet. He's another good lad.
Yeah, we like Barnesy. Barnesy's a legend. So what do you think? We've done our hour, Dean. We've done our hour. So I'm just going to ask you one more question. As a proud Welshman, how do you think Wales are going to do in the Euros now that Ryan's got them there?
Hard to tell, but Gareth Bale and Ramsey need each other. And there's been so much to get both of them on the pitch because Ramsey can glide past midfield. He can break past midfield lines with he's got like a silky, the way he moves. He can get past people and he actually sees a pass.
Yes.
Well, Gareth Bale needs him. Bale sees the run. So if them two are on the pitch, we can give anyone a game. If Gareth Bale is fit and Ramsey's fit, we can beat anyone.
Yeah. But
if there are two of them, we can lose to anyone. They're that important to us. We're struggling for defenders who are playing at the highest level at the moment. We're struggling a bit short there, and we had a spell there where we had Joe Allen, Joe Levy, David Edwards, Ramsey. We were blessed. We had a batch of midfield players who couldn't get a game.
Yeah,
and that's thinned out a little bit. But hopefully, some of the young players, the lad at Bournemouth, who's at Sheffield United, what's his name now? Bridges. What's his name? I forget his name.
I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
I'm watching. I forgot his name. Plays for Bournemouth.
I don't. If anyone knows, put it in the comments. I can't remember. Not Wilson. Wilson's.
It's done me.
I'm thinking Wilson.
Harry Wilson as well. Harry Wilson's a good player.
Yeah.
Tom Lawrence score goals. So Joe Allen's a key player in midfield. Does all the donkey jobs. Doesn't care about himself.
David Brooks.
Really professional. David Brooks. What am I saying? Bridge. David Brooks.
Close enough. Thank you, Ben.
That's my prediction for him. He's going to be a top. He's already good.
I hope you're right. And you got Daniel James at Man United as well. Great player.
Yeah. You know, rapid, quick. I was a bit worried, you know, when Solskjaer signed him. There's a lot of weight on his shoulders. You know, he stuck Rashford up there, so a lot of weight on Rashford. And Daniel James come in, and I think compared to Solskjaer, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, and Dan James, up to a point, were the three best players. Yeah. Dan just fell away, which I thought he might. It's like you're playing the wing for Man United when you've had Ronaldo, Beckham, and Giggs, and you've got to go in there from Swansea, a young lad, you know, lightning quick, and Premier League defenders work it out in the end. They work it out, keep sending him inside. He scored some great goals. Then he scores a few goals, so they stop sending him inside. You know, so he has to get over that step now. You know,
I think he will.
Vardy's an example. Yeah. Vardy was backs, and every step that was put in front of him, he climbed up it. Yeah. Eventually, he got in the England team. Because when you start scoring goals, people know who you are, and they try and stop you, but no one's been able to stop Vardy. They still can't stop him.
He's fast as well.
You've got to say, like, show me inside, I'm going to go and score. On the outside. So he's one of our best players.
I agree. Right. So we've had our hour. To everybody watching, I want to apologise for some of the sound issues. These things happen. But tonight it is all about the legend that is Dean Saunders. Please, please, please watch Dean. Listen to Dean on TalkSport. Watch him on BT Sport. Follow Dean on social media. He's a great lad. We'll be putting events on with Dean at some point, if not this year, next year. But ladies and gentlemen, please, I thank you from everybody watching, from Superstar Speakers, Mr. Dean Saunders. Thank you, sir.